Hey guys, Worggy here. Today I am bringing you a Survivor video, which anyone that watches my stream knows that I very rarely play Survivor. I have been working on my Survivor skills a lot here lately. Feel like I'm getting a lot better. Definitely not good yet, but it's a work in progress. As you just saw there, that's me going up to the first gen. And I'm so used to using a toolbox that I was actually trying to use my flashlight on the gen. You'll see me shine the generator, and I thought it was actually I thought I had a toolbox. And in this match, we play a plague as a killer, and I felt like the killer was very good. I feel like this map is survivor sided, which many people would disagree. I feel like the house is completely broke. You can run people for fucking days inside the house. There are plenty of loops that survivors can use it to their advantage. Many of the loops, the killer has no choice but to break pallets in order to even attempt to break the loop. Where other maps, in the exact same situation, the killer can eventually overtake the survivor. And this is also my first video with including the new map. And I know a lot of survivors and killers both absolutely hate this map. I love this map. I don't know why it has so much hate. And to be perfectly honest, I like this map, and I am a killer main. I do not feel like this is a killer-sided map. I feel like this is without a shadow of doubt in my mind, this is a survivor-sided map. I feel like survivors have the biggest advantage on this map because of the looping power that this map brings. You can loop them forever. But putting all that aside, I think the look of the map, the way it's put together, I really enjoy it. A lot of people disagree, which is fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I love this map, and I do not get it enough. I hope I keep getting it more and more because this map's super fun, and it's actually the very first time. And I played quite a few Survivor matches here as of late, but this is the very first time I'm actually playing this map as a Survivor, and I feel like playing Survivor has correction. I feel like playing Killer has helped me tremendously as a survivor. Now, obviously, I still have a lot to learn. This is my first time actually trying to, put my all into playing as a survivor, and it's only because of lately got a group of friends together, and playing Swift is just super super fun, and that's why I've started playing Survivor a lot more. And I'm not gonna commit myself to this yet, but I am trying to dedicate more time to Survivor because I think it also benefit me on the killer side, as I feel like it's benefited me on the Survivor side playing killer. So I'd like to get more in a mindset of a survivor, so it will help me be a better killer. Now, another thing that you'll notice that I do in this match that anyone that has ever seen me knows, I absolutely hate flashlights. Um, and I now see why survivors like bringing flashlights so much, because it is fun. Without a doubt, I understand it now. Um, to be perfectly honestly, I see flashlights and as a killer, and I have thought this for a long time. I always assume the worst. I think they're trying to be toxic. I think they're trying to ruin my game, which is obviously an ignorant mindset. But I see the fun in the flashlights now, and I want to get really good with the flashlights because it's a lot of fun. I also understand just how frustrating flashlights are to the killers, but it's part of the game and it's something that you got to deal with. I deal with it as a killer, but to be perfectly honest, at a certain number of flashlights, I'll just bring Franklin's or Lightborn in, and problem solved. Don't have to worry about it. But also that obviously kind of neuters you a little bit as far as your killer build. So that's probably a stupid way of dealing with it. But I've also gotten more used to just dealing with the flashlights without having to rely on a perk to do it. But to the moral of the story is I see just how fun flashlights are. I'm gonna keep bringing them in. I want to keep getting better. Now, so far, like in this match, I got quite a few blinds, but I'm wanting to get flashlight saves, and I've gotten them before, but it's been a very long time. My MMR is a lot higher than it used to be as well, even on Survivor, and I'd like to get to the point where I can consistently start getting flashlight saves, putting myself in position where I can get them and stuff like that. And that's my next goal, is just to keep getting better with the flashlight. And I also feel like back to what I was saying earlier on playing killer. When I first started playing Dead by Daylight, I was really, and I'm not trying to say I'm good now, but I was really, really bad at Survivor. If a killer found me, I pretty much just went down. There was very little I was able to do as far as trying to stop the killer from getting to me. And so playing killer and playing against good survivors has actually taught me a lot. They've shown me where the good loops are, where the weak loops are. I see exactly what happens when, even this loop right here. To be perfectly honest, if they would have stayed on the side of the rock that they were just on right there, they could have easily downed me. That's a weak loop, and all you have to do is play a little bit of back and forth, and you'll eventually tag them. And so I actually got really lucky here. But I still stand firm with this statement, and that is, I only am liking Survivor right now just because of Swifts. And I honestly used to be kind of against Swifts. And to an extent, I guess I kind of still am. I do feel like something does need to be done about generator speeds. I feel like it's too fast. When a group of Swifts, and you can do this in random, I'm not saying it has to be a Swift, but when they bring in new parts and all the various things that speed up gen speeds, it makes it super difficult. And against a killer, one person versus four, in a very organized group on comms like Discord and such, you can easily pop generators, and you can pop 3 generators in like less than a minute. That's too fast. But again, against a good killer, they can still overcome that. So I guess it's a really hard thing to balance. So I do understand where the problem is on the behavior's part, and why this game is so hard to balance around. And that's because no matter which direction they go, one of our mini groups in Dead by Daylight isn't happy. If you go too far with it, then it makes it too difficult for the randoms. If you don't go far enough with it, it makes it too easier for the Swifts. And then you got the various skill levels of killers, and then to couple with that as well, it's not just one killer. You got a gazillion killers with different powers, and all with their own unique abilities and strengths and weaknesses. Some are stronger, some are weaker. So it's a very difficult situation that they're now in. And then to boot, the game wasn't really ever designed for Swifts on communications. But here we are in this situation now, and I feel like this is a really difficult situation for behavior to be in. And it's something that's going to take a very long time to even attempt to balance. And I think in a game like this, you don't necessarily need to achieve 100% balance in a game like this. I don't feel like Dead by Daylight is a competitive game. I'm fully aware that there are leagues out there and stuff, and they set their own little rules, and they try to balance it the best they can, and they seem to do a great job at that. But at the end of the day, I do not look at Dead by Daylight as being a competitive game. People can say it is or not. That's their business. That's just my 2 cents. As a killer main, I don't go into a match. I don't get upset if I lose, because it's too many factors. Just because you get beat by a team doesn't mean they're even better than you. Like, there's so many things. Maybe you had a bad build. Maybe you didn't have your perks maxed out. Maybe you were on a survivor-sided map. Maybe you just had a bad game. There's a million things, and just because you got beat doesn't necessarily mean that team was better than you. And same goes the other way. If you beat a team, it doesn't mean you were necessarily better. Maybe you caught them out of position. I mean, there's so many things that can be factored into that, and so they're kind of in a tough spot on that. But I am seriously considering taking a few months off of Killer, just because of the amount of fun I have been having on Survivor. Uh, Pretty much my entire Dead by Daylight playtime is almost exclusively on Killer. Other than here recently, if I was to venture to say how many hours I actually had on Survivor, I would probably say it's less than 50. Easy. Less than 50. Adding up all my time, I probably, and I'm fully aware that there's lots of people that have a lot more time than this, but I probably have about 1,200 hours, give or take. But this Survivor matches have just been a blast, and I am seriously considering dedicating a lot more time to it. But anyway, guys, I'd like to just thank you for watching, and until next time. And also, guys, one thing I want to add on to the end of this video is if you see anything I'm doing wrong that you think I could do better, feel free to leave some comments down below, and I will definitely consider them. And thank you for critiquing.